That was a Richard Farina song, right? Isn't that where that came from?
Yes, I find the truth exhilarating.
Is that something? Is that why you were drawn to the songs of the '60s? Because they just felt so candid somehow, so unencumbered.
Oh yeah, yes. People weren't born cynical then.
Yeah, they were reborn with the help of pharmaceuticals and things like that.
Yes, but not the corporate kind.
No, exactly. But so I think of you, and I think about your musical adventures and journeys, often going back a little farther into earlier days of music and song. So what led you to this time period in this pile of music?
Oh, well, I mean, it would be wonderful to go back to the 60s and have that kind of hope and have that kind of freedom from distraction, which came from tuning out, and because they've found a great way to both track us and distract us and bore us with these devices that we carry around. Yeah. Well, I'm reading a book called The 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television, which was written in the 1970s. It couldn't be more relevant. I mean, the internet makes television look benign.
Yeah. So you think that the 60s there was focus partly because people had tuned out, and despite all the harumphing about laziness and not getting anything done, actually, I guess what you're saying is lots of stuff did get done.
Oh, the best thing you can do is withdraw, and I think you're doing a great job in Colorado. You got some wonderful edibles.
Yeah. The legal weed in Colorado, yeah, it's just sort of like, it's here, it's among us.
Yes, and there's such nice people there.
You mean the purveyors? You can ask them all kinds of questions, and they'll sort of say, well, tell us about your experience, because you obviously had some.
Well, they're just so friendly and warm. I think they used to work at the co-op, and then they...
Well, so that's where the 60s connection comes in. But I think that what you were saying before about being not distracted and being a little more focused, because in fact, there was a protest movement. There was progress made on things like civil rights and women's rights and trying to, end a war and protect the environment. And those things really, all that gestation and energy sort of came out of that time period.
Of course. And we seem to kind of abandon the true meaning of a lot of causes. I mean, the civil rights movement was largely anti-war. The hippie movement was largely vegetarian. Today it would be vegan. The feminist movement was largely anti-pornography. And yet the radical spirit of those movements has been sapped. And now you hear working class hero as elevator music, Yeah. And we need to pay attention to what the true radicals of the time were saying, not just how they've been co-opted now to make a profit. The 60s is more than just a fashion choice.
Mm-hmm. Well, now it seems like the what's at stake is even greater than ever, and there isn't really that movement. There isn't really that, there is, but it's muted. That sort of organized voice for change.
Yeah, I think we're overwhelmed. I think with the internet, I was talking to someone who has kids, and they said it's as if you have the ocean outside your window. How can you think straight with that?
I'm having a hard time thinking straight just looking at your dress.
Oh, thank you.
It's remarkable and spectacular. I have no idea what country it comes from, but it's exotic and beautiful.
Oh,
lots of beadwork and sparkling things. For our radio listeners, I can describe this.
Well, it's nice and old. I really wanted to go to the the eco recycling art exhibit that's in a town near here, and I didn't get here this time, but that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I think you do your part by sort of resurrecting vintage clothes and encouraging that form of recycling.
Oh, sure.
Anyway.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what? I think that...
Thanks.
Well, it's really, Nellie, you're you're so present. I love the fact that you're here. And I heard you on Garrison Keillor's show one time recently.
Yeah.
And you clearly made him really nervous, which is
oh.
it's kind of his forte generally, is making people uncomfortable. But you actually had a nice exchange with him. I was proud of you.
Well, but we just were on the Prairie Home cruise, and you know.
Then all bets are off.
Oh, sure, yeah, you haven't. You went skinny dipping.
That's an event that is made for radio, I think, yeah.
No, it was so delightful. I mean, you do feel like you're part of a cult. I never knew singing hymns at 7 a.m. would be so much fun.
Yeah.
So trippy.
Well, that's he's got his own kind of commune, I guess, in his own way. That's kind of cool, what he's doing, I guess. Maybe we should start something like that.
Oh, as long as you have a buffet.
Yeah. Do we need to have a cruise ship? Can we do it on land? Can we do it here?
Sure.
The buffet and a sleepover.
In the mountains?
I mean, right here in eTown Hall.
Oh, in eTown Hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need a little more graffiti.
All right, we'll give it some time. So listen, we've been talking about this time period of the 60s that inspired you and inspired this new CD project called My Weekly Reader. Not a terribly 60s or nostalgic for that era anyway title, but I'm sure there's a connection.
Well, out of My Weekly Reader sprung the counterculture. I mean, they had, people had to have something to rebel against.
Yeah.
And a news magazine for kids seems the perfect place to start.
Yeah. Well, so where would you place all of your? I know you're very involved with animal rights and veganism and other causes. If you had the flexibility and the opportunity to be a more engaged and active protester or activist right now, where would you park your energy?
Well, it is the number one thing you can do personally to fight global warming is to get off the animal products. And in Boulder, it's quite easy. And it's becoming easier across the board, but we still need to fight the subsidization of animal products, which is what makes them so cheap and so enticing and ubiquitous. Because food is emotional. It's not about sustenance. Otherwise, we could all get off the animal products. It's very emotional. It's very emotional for me. And so if you don't have that choice, if you don't have that opportunity, if it's not a comparative price, people are going to stick with the animal products. So how do you fight that? You have to get the money out of Washington, and we've never been more deluged with money in politics.
Right.
So, yeah, good luck. But if you're gonna, start the fight, this is the place to do it.
Okay, good. Here on the air. I heard you talk recently about. You're talking about yuppies, and then you talked about yunnies, or what was the next sort of evolution of your?
Oh, I don't know if that's safe for radio. Can I say it? And is this live?
No.
Can you bleep me?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yuppies were young urban professionals.
Right.
Their progeny, at least spiritually, if not biologically, are the young urban narcissists, or yunnies. But we have a new word for them called fungi, which is fucked up, greedy, horrible idiots. Wait a minute.
There's narcissist in there, too.
I'm such a moron. I'm so sorry. It's those edibles. I'm sorry. It's fucked up, narcissistic, greedy, horrible idiots. Should I repeat that whole sentence for radio?
No, I don't think it's going to go to radio, so
Okay.
I think you're okay. Well, anyway, we've got more music to play. Any more acting roles? Because I know you've enjoyed your time on stage. You've enjoyed your time in theater, and you were recognized for that. Do you have any more acting gigs coming up?
Right. Oh, well, if we can create our own thing,
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be lucky to get a job. But if you do, you feel a bit like Mariah and Precious. Like you have enough. I didn't mean that. This went over really well with Gay City News. Let me re-answer that question. Because I don't want to be putting down
I was stuck on what does it
Mariah.
feel like to be Mariah. I was trying to.
No, you know how everybody wants to do something they don't do. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
right.
like I'm lucky to be here.
Yeah.
And and then we'll go to the imaginary co-op, and then I mean, do you really need?
Do you need another career, or do you need to
Don't you just?
Yeah.
You just need to. But let me answer that again. Okay, so acting. Yeah, I prefer to act in real life.
Good one. That's good. Cut. We'll keep it. Listen, I always enjoy just hanging out with you and hearing what you're up to, and I love these CDs that, you know, from the Doris Day covers to the 60s covers to your own original songs, and I just love the fact that your musical curiosity has taken you to such wide places and that you send these occasional postcards from your journey, and I really appreciate it. So I'm happy we're going to get to play some more songs with you.
Me too.
Yeah.
And let me just say just about the vegan, vegetarian thing too, because I should have mentioned this, but it's that phrase that you're better eating a salad and a Hummer than a burger and a Prius. You know, we do need the world to change.
Did you just make up that phrase, or is that a well-known phrase?
Oh, no.
You've heard that before.
Oh, yeah. From Bill Maher, from the gentleman who just made Racing Extinction, which is a great film coming off. Yeah. So, you know, it's hard waiting on the world to change, and it can be difficult, but your personal choices do matter. People should know that.
Okay. Thank you for that reminder. Nellie McKay, let's get back to some more music. And I'm personally not going to consume any animal products during this performance, if that's makes you feel any better.